There's talking about Stephen Fry in America, which is a thumping hardback book, which is out today, and the TV series starts next Sunday, isn't it? October the 12th.
That's right.
It was quite interesting watching it, because you start in Maine and a bit of lobster fishing. I eat meat. I don't particularly like seafood, but I've always felt particularly squeamish when they chuck live lobsters in the boiling pot, and so did you.
Yes, I did, and I felt bad about it, but I did it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, we all eat
either do it and don't feel bad about it, or don't do it.
Exactly.
Don't try and do
Well, you
both.
ate meat, but you said, can you not shoot the deer, didn't you? Can we just shoot it with the camera?
That's right, we went deer hunting in upstate New York. That's right.
They did.
And they shoot anything, squirrels and goodness knows what else. Squirrels, exactly. It's one syllable.
One syllable, squirrels. Yeah.
But it's, they engage in it, they love it, and they were so welcoming. I went to their cabin and they took me out. And for all they knew, I could have been Sacha Baron Cohen, I could have been a Borat. And in fact, I did find it was quite interesting that there's a bit of a sort of Borat legacy there, that some of them who didn't know who I was, or some of those who did know who I was, kind of could check up on your Wikipedias and your IMDb's or whatever and see that I have a comedy background, and therefore thinking, oh, hello, is this going to be some kind of make us look like an ass?
Well, yeah.
I mean that in the sense of donkey, obviously.
Well, yeah.
and indeed, it was one of the primary motives of doing the series, was that I didn't want to go and sneer. I didn't want to go and laugh at American stupidity and gun nuts and religious maniacs and all the rest of it. It's so easy to do, and it's been done to death. They're not the dumbass kind of, maniacs who have never read a book and haven't thought a thought.
Yeah.
It's a lot harder to engage with them than you might think in your smart European way. They're not unsophisticated people. They never have been, actually. There's a lot of sharp wisdom, and they call it horse sense. It's a bit like they're a bit like Yorkshiremen. They rather trade off the fact that I have your fancy city ways. I may not have book learning, but I got gumption.
Yes,
yes. That sort of Jeff Boycott type sort of attitude to life.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of sense in it, and I certainly found out, having to go on lobster boats and travel with firemen and go swimming with sharks and do quite a lot of physical stuff that I did, is that...
I was going to say, I was pretty impressed, Stephen. It's quite sort of scary stunts in there.
It brought out my lack of practical gumption, and sometimes I had to be reminded. But no, swimming with sharks, which I did in Hawaii, was something I never thought I'd do. I went in a cage, and I had the sharks swimming around me. And
wow.
That was
scary?
Yes.
And of course, more important than religion and swimming with sharks, you made your own ice cream at Ben & Jerry's. That's the high point, surely.
I'm so envious of that.
They were so welcoming. I came in and I was given the run of all the flavours and told I could build my own, which the guy called Even Stevens, and I have to confess that it was really good.
Is it going to be on shelves? Can we buy it?
Well, I'm not sure. They did say, he said, I'm going to take it up the fourth floor, because this is a great flavour.
The fourth floor?
Yeah, the fourth floor.
Now, listen, we could talk and talk and talk, quite obviously, but, we don't have all the time in the world. But a couple of things I want to ask you before you go. One, just obviously what you're doing at the moment, because is it true, apart from this, you've rewritten Dam Busters?
Yes. I would say rewritten, because
written
Dam
a new
Busters is
screenplay, new version of the screenplay, yes. Not
the great New Zealand filmmaker Peter Jackson got in touch with me and asked if I would be interested in writing a screenplay on the Dam Busters. And this was fascinating, because I yield to none in my admiration for him as a filmmaker. He's astounding. I had no idea he'd be interested in such a story. It turns out, actually, it was David Frost. David Frost had bought the rights to the Paul Brickhill book, The Dam Busters, and to a few other properties, I think, and was desperate to find someone to direct it. And he was told by a friend, said, aren't you trying to find the director for The Dam Busters? And he said, yes, I am. And he said, well, it's odd, I was in Peter Jackson's office in Wellington in New Zealand, and he had a huge poster of the original 1954 Michael Anderson film, the one with Richard Todd and Michael Redgrave. And so David thought, I'll call him up. Hello, I don't know if you know me, the name's David Frost. Anyway, the deal was struck, and Peter got in touch with me. Now, the original film is a magnificent film. I mean, I just can't watch it too often. It is a masterpiece. I think genuinely is a masterpiece. It's perfect.
When are we going to be seeing this?
2010.
Oh, really?
It's a bit of a wait.
Okay, all right.
Peter is currently building Lancasters and Wellingtons.
And the one final thing, because we always see you on the telly doing QI, and you're always doing things of an intellectual bent and thinking. When you want to relax from thinking, What does Stephen Fry do when you want to let your mind have half an hour off? Do you play bingo or something? Because everybody needs a brain rest.
Or eat ice cream. You do say we all need ice cream.
Eating, as you can probably tell by looking at me, is certainly
Fine
something
figure
I
of a
do
man.
plenty of. One of the things I like TV dramas.
Right.
Now, I have a big DVD collection, and I get all the movies, and I always look at it and I think, oh, there's that movie. I want to see that movie. I should see that movie. I think, no, I tell you what, I'll watch Messiah 3 and 4, with Ken Stott, or I'll watch some Midsummer Murders,
Right.
I just, it's really weird.
Yeah,
So,
I think that's great.
Perfectly. And there is a new series of Kingdom as well, of course, which is
just finished making it last
another
week.
conversation. Yeah, so much to talk about. But anyway, really great to see you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Steve.
Stephen Fry in America, published today in hardback HarperCollins, and the series begins next Sunday, October the 12th on BBC One. And I am going to buy one of those alarm clocks.
Oh,
As am I, actually.